Hey everybody, this is the Aggressively Medium podcast with Lee and Josh.
Well, here we are.
You like to start them real low, don't you? Like you got to come in with like some.
Well, here we are.
There you go. That's better.
Episode 51.
51. Do you remember what channel it was?
Nope. I don't know if I had 51.
We had it. I don't know what 51 was. I remember what 52 was, but that I'll save that for next week.
I don't remember what that was either. I might be out until the 60s.
Really?
Maybe.
So y'all didn't have any 50s, but you had 60s?
We had them. I didn't watch them.
You just didn't watch them.
Yeah.
Well,
50. No, we didn't have 51. I mean, I'm sure we did, but yeah. I'm drawing a blank.
you're drawing a blank.
51.
Hey, it is what it is.
That's all right.
It is what it is. Neither one of us remember. If you remember what yours was, tell us. We had somebody comment about last week's episode.
Ooh.
It was about what our with the
You all right?
with the would you rather.
Which
he
one
said,
was that?
Is the sneeze or the cough?
Oh, yeah.
He said, I'm sneezing to go anywhere in the world. I'll just always have a backpack strapped to me with essentials. Smart idea.
That was understood, I thought.
That you had a backpack full of
I've
essentials
got
all
a
the time.
backpack full of essentials all the time.
We never talked about it.
Well, I live it. So,
Well, we never talked about it. So he said that. Landon Franklin,
thanks, pal.
thanks for checking us out. Thanks for commenting.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hear your own comments on the air,
Listen to the episode 30 seconds ago.
yeah. Well, I meant new other people.
Oh,
If other
Yeah.
people want to hear their, just comment. And let us know what you think, and we'll talk about it.
you put your hat on backwards.
I did. I'm back.
Gosh.
Shout out to the sponsors, Mammoth Clothing.
Cheese Louise,
This
Tuscaloosa.
stretchy shirt. You see
It's
how stretchy
real
that is?
stretchy.
Stretchy. Go buy one. They're
Yeah.
on sale.
And always will be.
And always will be. MammothClothing.co. CheeseLouise.org.
Yeah, we're a nonprofit. Which does not mean we just don't make any money, which we don't either. But yeah.
So, this week,
We got some stuff.
we got some stuff. Yeah. We got a few
Did you
things.
see I brought my pillow back?
Good.
I'm feeling
Protecting yourself.
I'm feeling a little swollen.
Yeah. You got to, I thought you were just protecting your soft parts of your body. 'Cause
My
that's what you
soft
do.
parts are a little softer today, it feels like.
Yeah. There you
So-
go. A little more vulnerable.
Got a lot of soft parts.
A little more vulnerable.
I ate a bunch this weekend.
Oh, yeah. The wedding.
Oh, yeah. Colin got married.
Colin.
He's in the Dominican Republic right now,
The DNR.
trying to not get sex trafficked.
It's going to be hard for him. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
He's easy to pick up, too. So
He's pretty dense.
he's
It'd be hard
dense,
to
but
pick
there's,
up.
there's,
You mean physically pick up?
yeah.
Yeah, he'd be hard to pick up.
Really?
Yeah.
Little guy.
But yeah, they're in the DNR.
DNR out there living it up.
Mm-hmm. They had their wedding Saturday.
Man,
was
if
a
I could just have like a
groomsman.
week to go to Mexico again
Go.
and just relax,
Go.
not think about anything.
You got the entire summer and Christmas to go.
Yeah. As long as somebody sponsors it.
True.
There were a lot of people sponsoring that week.
The fire
Nobody's-
department's not going to sponsor a trip to...
Probably
The
not.
fire department sponsors your bills and your mortgage.
Yeah. Congratulations, Colin and Amanda.
Yeah.
Happy for you guys.
It was a fun wedding. It was
If you're getting married this week or have an anniversary or birthday you want us to talk about next
Yeah.
week, we just full on radio show now.
good. Yeah. Call
Get your
in.
grandma to call in and tell a happy birthday. And
Yeah, we'll do it. I'll
uh,
shout out somebody's birthday. Bring it on.
yeah, I would like to clarify. Last week or the week before, we talked about the mayoral race, and I said I bet there was a bunch of people that showed up that have never showed up before, and I was correct. I just want to put that out there. You said 20% is abysmal, and I was like, I think 20% is a pretty good number.
It's not.
It was like 15, 14, 11% the last 3
Also terrible.
elections. But just goes to show I was right. And I don't get to say that I was right very often because I'm married. So I take them when I can. And then there's another city council candidate that is claiming that she's trying to get a judge to overturn their election results.
She lost.
Yeah. She's claiming that the other person was not qualified to run.
Oh, Cassius?
Was that who it was?
I think so.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Sounds
like he didn't
his little things on his that you stick in the ground.
say I'm not qualified.
No, he mean mugged at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He looks like a bulldog with glasses on.
That's who I want on my city council. Do it in the camera. Don't do it at me. There you go.
My name's Cassius.
I'm gonna run for city council.
He won?
Yeah, he won.
Contested.
By 35 votes.
Oh, well, you got to go back and you got to recount that then.
They might have recounted.
That's way too close.
That's pretty close.
35 votes. Only had like 135 votes. So, dang.
Yeah. But so that's all the Tuscaloosa news we have. Now over to Lee with Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I just sent you that article that she got remarried to like some Seattle school teacher.
Jeff Bezos' wife, in case
ex-wife.
There wasn't enough.
Yeah. She became like the second richest woman on the planet signing divorce papers.
Yeah. Which, in her defense, normally in a divorce, it's like, oh, that kind of sucks that, somebody got their hard-earned money taken away from them. But he said she was pretty influential.
She helped.
Yeah, she was pretty influential in the early years.
Is that worth like $20 billion? I don't know.
Maybe. If you helped
not
with the IP of a company that...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now that she's remarried, she ought to give it back, though. Because that's the point of a divorce.
Maybe they're going to start glamazon.com or something now. And go into...
If I had to guess, they'll probably just start some...
I'll tell you what I'd do is I would start a nonprofit on a beachfront property in the Bahamas.
I wouldn't even... I'd just count my money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything else.
Which that also brings me to the reason I even brought that up.
Yeah. I only had to say that she got remarried. The point of the money you get from a divorce is because you want to keep that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, if you got... Or even pettily.
Yeah. Maybe the other guys...
She should now give... Let's just say what's the average? They'll be married for another 2 years before they get divorced.
I mean, if it's
whatever the dude's salary is, give that back to Jeff.
So I would immediately quit my job.
For him? Well, you think he likes that girl? No, he likes her paycheck or her bank statement.
Hey, if I could get married to a sugar mama, that's what my dad always told me. He said, marry for money the first time and love the second time.
That's great.
Solid advice. Solid advice.
That's terrible.
It's not terrible.
That's so terrible.
Why?
Then just rob a bank and then get married.
Well, then you'd go to jail. If I marry a rich person, I don't go to jail. Nowadays,
you probably would. Back in the 20s, though, when they would like
20s.
When they would like write their name in bullets on the side of the bank.
Yeah.
Be like, try and catch me.
Try and catch me. Come on.
Yeah.
So Jeff Bezos, I saw this really interesting thread of tweets the other day about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos announces Amazon is donating $690,000 to help the country recover from devastating brush fires.
Was it like a nickel?
And then somebody else tweeted right back at him and said, LOL, Metallica gave $750,000. I don't know how much Metallica makes, but they're not the richest people on the planet.
They're not even close to Bezos money.
Somebody did the math. Bezos donated about 0.00062727727% of his net worth, while Metallica, on the other hand, donated 0.0914634416 of their net worth. When compared to the average net worth of an American, which I thought this was crazy, the average net worth of an American is $257,000.
That ain't true.
But taking that and saying that's the average net worth of Americans, the difference in percentage becomes Metallica donated $253.50 and Jeff Bezos donated $1.62.
I like it.
So, screw you, Bezos.
But also, listen, I'm not one to defend a billionaire very often.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be happy with $690,000?
I mean, it depends on what the need was.
Hold
on. Give me a second. If they needed $600 million,
yeah,
and you're like, I'll give you 600,000. That's like a 1% tip, man.
But in my situation, all right, I'll take that back then. Good luck.
Yeah.
You ungrateful.
Have you seen the stuff about Amazon in Birmingham?
The freaking unions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Bezos was completely against.
Good.
Well, so Bezos in the general election for president was completely for mail-in ballots. Pushing mail-in ballots.
Of course.
We need to do mail-in ballots. It's the safest
That's
thing to do.
how Biden got voted in.
It's the safest. We're
With
going to
fake-
save Americans' lives
Fake mail-in ballots.
by doing mail-in ballots. And now that the Birmingham location of Amazon is wanting to unionize, they said, well, since there's a lot of people off with COVID, we should do mail-in ballots. He comes back and says mail-in ballots cannot be trusted.
Yeah. Duh.
But
It's the biggest double standard in the world.
Yeah. How are you going to say, Jeff, let's level with each other?
Because those presidential mail-in ballots kept him from having to pay taxes.
Yeah.
These, because it's going to pass if they do mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
And now he's sitting where we've been sitting for the past 8 months. It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
We don't have this system set up, but we're going to jam it through anyway. And it's ripe with corruption possibilities. Yeah.
Only makes sense that we're opposed to it now.
First off, if you're in a union,
I'm in a union.
kiss it. Unions have turned into corruption.
I don't feel very corrupt.
That's fine. You're not high enough in the union. Unions, when they were created a long time ago, were absolutely needed because people like Bezos wouldn't put air conditioning and stuff in their warehouses, and they wouldn't have fire exits, and it was terrible. It's like what's going on in China.
Or Birmingham.
No, it's what is going on in China now with iPhones is what like every factory in the United States was like. So the workers said, we got to be able to like advocate for ourselves a little bit and have
the mafia immediately took it over.
Yeah. And it's been corrupt ever since.
Yeah.
Unions are stupid.
Well,
now.
I feel like the firefighter union is a pretty good union. There's been a lot of stuff accomplished with the union. I'm pro firefighter union. Whatever. Tell me about your dumb book you read then.
It took me a long time to read it. It's called The Coddling of the American Mind. Mm-hmm. So it's very pertinent to today's times. But the book basically is trying to explain why college campuses are so tumultuous right now. Mm-hmm. Just riots and protests and not letting speakers come to campus because words hurt and just all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so the book's pretty long and intricate, but one of the main reasons for college campuses being the way they are is because of the students. And those students, iGen is what they're called. the iGeneration, like iPhone,
Yeah.
they weren't raised well.
Yeah.
They were coddled as children because the guy that made America's Most Wanted,
Yeah.
that guy had his child abducted.
Yeah, and that wasn't that. Like
That's
a
what
reason?
spurred all this stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
But so, like, I can't remember the statistic off the top of my head, but it was something crazy. Like, you have a better chance of getting eaten by a shark on land than getting abducted.
Depends on how pretty you are, but yeah, sure.
No, it's seriously though. Like,
Depends on how pretty you are.
the numbers show that like the rate of children that get abducted and children around, it's so low that like you would have to sit in an unlocked car by yourself as a kid for like 3 years before you'd get abducted straight.
How up to date is that statistic though?
Current.
Because, are you like? For
And
sure?
they did it
'Cause-
through history too, because
Yeah.
before is his last name Walsh, the guy that did America's Most Wanted,
Oh, I have no idea.
but he's got like silver hair,
yeah,
older
yeah.
guy.
He's got
So-
that great voice.
Yeah. So what started all this was in like a 2-year time period, 2 high-level kids got took. And the news went bananas about it. And then that's when it was like stranger danger,
Yeah.
people in vans driving around grabbing kids, don't talk to strangers, don't go outside without a parent. That's what started all this.
Yeah.
And so with that, and there's like, it was basically like kids don't go outside much. Starting in the 80s and 90s, parents went ballistic about safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so like kids quit going outside as much. Kids quit having like, I'm going to ride my bike to the park.
Yeah.
Like that quit happening. And so it was all supervised. There was no unsupervised playtime. It was, and then also it got way harder to get into college. So parents went nuts with like college prep stuff instead of letting your kid like go play and do extracurricular stuff that had nothing to do with school.
Gotcha.
And so now these kids are in college and have no way of working through tough stuff. And so they just go to their dean.
Mm-hmm.
And so that person needs to be fired.
Yeah. Because they've been
Coddled.
sheltered.
Yep.
From all that stuff.
And
over the years.
as unintentional as a lot of it was,
Yeah.
the effects are still super real. And so as the book went on, it was talking about like current day. They interviewed a guy that was almost put in jail because he let his kid walk like 2 blocks to the grocery store.
How old was his kid?
10. But he had he had done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
The dad had trained the kid and like taught him how to do this.
Yeah.
And like what to do and what not to do. And don't go off with a stranger if you get lost.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd be like sending Jason up to that Shell station up there.
yeah.
Like not that far.
But he's 6.
Yeah, no, I'm
But you could do it now. You could.
hey, we're
If you did it
we're
with
just getting
him.
to the point where when we're at a restaurant, he can go to the bathroom by himself.
True.
So I'm not going to put him
True.
on that.
But-
that would be like Christopher Columbus going across the ocean right
That's
there.
about unheard of now, though.
Yeah.
He's like just sending
Letting
your
him
kid
go
to the
yeah.
bathroom. And so the book was really good. If you watch that documentary on Netflix about social media, The Social Dilemma,
Mm-hmm.
the really soft-spoken New York psychologist that had all
yeah.
of the like suicide and self-harm with young kids, he wrote the book.
Okay. Gotcha.
Jonathan Haidt.
Yeah. He's got a lot of good books out.
He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast
Yeah.
a few times. He's done, so it's his book.
Okay. Jonathan Haidt.
H-A-I-D-T.
Yeah. That's interesting because when I was like, so we moved from the country to the city when I was 7 years
That's a
old.
stretch.
Uh,
The city of Demopolis
from
is
the
still
woods
out in the
into
country.
the town of this. Yeah. Either way, we moved into town when I was about 7 years old. I would say when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, I was like either on my bike or on my skateboard traveling
Free to
well
roam.
over
Free to
a
roam.
mile. I crossed a major highway
Yeah.
to go to Walmart just to do it.
Yeah.
And had relatively no supervision,
Right.
like other than like, hey, make sure you're home at this time.
Yeah.
And then when I got a car, it was like, whatever, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
My parents were super old, and so they just didn't care.
Yeah.
And they also knew like, oh, Josh isn't going to go out. He's not doing drugs. He's not having out having unprotected sex.
He's having
So,
protected sex, but at least it's it's protected.
He was protected from sex. Let me tell you
Yeah.
that. Young Joshua Julian was
Yeah.
protected from sex in every facet.
Some creeper would be like, I'm gonna grab that. Ooh, not that.
No.
Yeah.
You see, he's got that band jacket on with the trombone patch on the
I
side
bet
of
he'd
it.
be a handle.
Yeah. So I was very protected from sex.
Yeah.
But like they just, and maybe I don't know. I think maybe it was just because my parents trusted me
Yeah.
and I had
was a
built that
different-
trust up. But also like, if we're talking about kids that like live in the middle of like Los Angeles or something like that, I'm probably not going to let my kid like roam freely around there either. You know,
Yeah.
but
You can
like,
roam the neighborhood.
yeah, you could roam the neighborhood for sure.
People don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I find myself like I find myself thinking about that even with like Jason's got a friend that goes to school and she lives like 4 or 5 houses down, and I'm like, you can walk over there in the yards. Don't don't go on the road.
That's fine.
And I think part of that though is more for like people don't look at the road anymore.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, whenever I was walking around, nobody had cell phones. Nobody was carrying around a freaking laptop in their side compartment. Nobody was like opening a newspaper and reading it going down the road. Like, I think that's that could be part of the reason why people are like a little bit more skittish
About getting their kid run over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if I lived in the towns, I'd be like, dude, whatever, go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Like this is a fairly safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
Nobody's driving like a maniac through there. There's sidewalks all over the place. There's other kids all over the place.
But yeah, just in general, that was one of the
Yeah.
6 reasons to why colleges are so crazy right
Was
now.
there another like good reason you can remember? Because like the thing about
oh man,
letting
We could
a
talk about
kid
this book
go
a
to
lot.
the grocery store and he almost got put in jail. Like my parents would be put away for life
Oh,
right
yeah.
now
Yeah.
if I did the things back then.
How many times did you almost run away from home?
Oh, not very many.
Oh,
I didn't have a lot of rules or anything like that.
yeah.
I will tell you, we would wake up, like I would have a buddy or a couple buddies of mine. We always had people staying over at the house.
Yeah.
But we would purposefully wake up at 1:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we would ride our bikes to the other side of town to roll somebody's house.
Yeah.
So like we did that kind of stuff all the time. And my parents knew about it. Like they weren't.
Right. Not a super big fan of the vandalism part, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
Freedom.
fun for kids.
Yeah. Now people that think this is crazy, like this concept, they call them like, oh, you're a free range parent.
Oh, so like if I let my kids run around, I'm a free range
If you don't follow your kid around the
I kind
yard.
of like that though.
What?
That I'm
The
a
term free range parent?
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be disparaging. Like,
Yeah, but I feel no disparaging
Right. Yeah.
towards it.
I'm not going to take advice from some blue haired moron.
Yeah.
Anyway, but another one of the things, and I'm not going to get near all 6 of them just because it was a long book,
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up, because it took me a long time to read the stupid thing, the dang thing. It was a good book. But colleges now have more support staff than faculty.
Interesting.
And like every department.
Janitors and...
Well, but not that. They have like ethics committees and like inclusion faculty that make sure the numbers are right, and is now it's turned, they call it a multiversity instead of like a university, because there's way more money is spent on other stuff than education, and that's changed in the past 20 years, and that has a lot to do with it too. Well, but when you do that,
like
but the rising in cost has to do with the support staff of like
all the things around
things that
on.
have nothing to do with higher education.
Yeah.
And it was saying that like college is not supposed to be like a 4-year like all-inclusive resort.
Yeah.
It was meant to be, because the first universities in the United States were created for clergy.
Alabama.
No, they were created for
Alabama.
What?
University of Alabama.
Yeah, they're
that was
all
the
like
first
that.
college.
No,
ever.
not even kind.
That was the first college ever.
Okay. Well, they were created for clergy, and like it was way more to do with like religious studies than it was anything else. But then it became just higher education, which is a good thing. But now it's like they use an example in the book. LSU just spent $8 million of tuition money on a lazy river.
That's pretty cool.
But how about you drop my tuition down and we don't have this lazy river? How about that?
Yeah, they are becoming like resorts almost. Yeah. Like I would love to go spend a week at Alabama.
Just on the quad?
Yeah. Just
in the dorms.
They got a lazy river.
Yeah, but it's not. It's in the shape of LSU.
Yeah.
Like it's in the
it's
logo.
It's a big deal.
But and the idea that physical harm, like being upset by something somebody says, is now a form of physical harm.
Yeah.
That's just one of the overarching things it's like, because if I feel hurt, I have a right to freak out.
Yeah. This is what I said last week. Sticks and stones may
break my bones, but
words will never hurt me. And now words are literally violence.
Right.
Like there's this change in mentality from like, it doesn't matter what you say about me because I know the truth, or I know like how I feel or whatever.
If I don't like what you're saying, you're hurting me.
Yeah.
And that's...
and I mean, okay, so bullying and all that stuff aside, like that kind of stuff can like negatively impact you as a person.
Ideas, though.
Yeah.
Like this speaker is conservative, therefore what they say could actually harm us if they come and speak. And so we need to have a protest and tear up some stuff to keep that person from coming.
Yeah.
But I'm right because I'm keeping people safe.
Yeah.
So, big air quotes on safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a good book.
If you want to talk about protest, there's the ultimate form of protest, I think, which is stealing a plane and flying it around.
Was this the best transition of all time?
It was. So on August 10th, 2018, a Horizon Air Bombardier Dash 8 Q400, which is like a prop plane, but it's like a commercial prop plane. So seats like probably 100 people, was stolen from Seattle Tacoma International Airport. The perpetrator was 29-year-old Richard Russell, was a Horizon Air ground service agent with no piloting experience. He performed an unauthorized takeoff, and two McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle fighters were subsequently scrambled to intercept the aircraft. SeaTac Air Traffic Control made radio contact with Russell, the sole occupant, who described himself as a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. For approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, Russell flew the plane around Seattle. He got fired from his job. He got upset, so he protested. I'm going to take this plane with me, and we're going to fly around. And there's video, because this wasn't that long ago. There's video, and they've recorded a lot of the audio from it too, where like air traffic control like clicks in, and they're like, "Hey, you gonna come land that thing?" And he's like, "No, I'm just going to take it around for a couple maneuvers. We'll figure it out."
But he doesn't know what he's doing.
Nah. He just figured it.
Did he land it?
Yeah. Pretty hard.
Oh, he crashed it?
Yeah. He died.
Oh, he did?
He died. He crashed it on an island off of Seattle's coast.
That's for the best.
Just like the story is fascinating to me, though.
So he just had an elongated suicide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, if you're gonna do it, that's a pretty fantastic way to do it, honestly. Like,
unless
me do
it's your
this thing.
airplane that he took.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna write that off as insurance anyway. Like, what do they care?
Yeah.
But like some of the audio listening to this guy was just, I listened to some of the audio this week, and it was pretty fantastic. And just like, he'd come over the radio. He saw the F-15s, and he'd be like, "Oh, don't want to go over there. That guy's going to get me." Whatever. Like, they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to land that thing?" And he's like, "I don't think people would be too happy with me if I tried to." It's just.
So his plan was to crash it?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if there was a lot of planning,
right,
just in general, but like, I think he was just fed up with everything that happened to him, and so
what
he
if
was
he
like,
had got on a plane with people on it? Ugh.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm sure.
Bring on the robots.
Bring on the robots.
Yeah.
You want a robot flying your plane?
Yeah.
You want a robot driving your car? There's the line.
I don't have a problem with Teslas. I don't like that people can take naps while they're driving.
Nobody's taking a nap while they're driving
There's
a Tesla.
video of people taking naps.
They're doing something that the car was not meant to do. They've got like weights on their steering wheel or something like that. Like, they've gamed the system. I could, if I wanted to take a nap in my car, I would have to override safety features like analog.
Can you do that?
Can I override them? If I put a weight on my steering wheel, yeah.
So it's not that hard to do.
I mean, sure.
You could strap an ankle weight to it.
That'd be a little bit too much. They make little ball bearings that are like the precise amount.
Oh, gosh.
And then like silicone molds that it fits into. There's no reason that you should do that.
Yeah.
Until it gets to the point where it's literally touchless driving system, and they've got enough hours logged, and it's the pressure is off of you and it goes towards the company. Sure. But like, I'm not taking a nap in my car while it's driving down the road. Will I watch Netflix? Sure.
Would you watch Disney Plus?
It depends. Is it WandaVision?
I hope
Did you get upset that I stole that from you?
No.
Okay, good.
I brought in Disney Plus.
I know. But when I said WandaVision, you went,
I sneezed. No. Well, and just because of the show.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I'd like a show that's highlighting my least favorite Avenger on the thing.
That's your least favorite Avenger?
Yeah, by a landslide. I'd rather have her dead brother running around.
Hawkeye is my least favorite Avenger. He serves no purpose. I can shoot arrows. Good job, buddy.
I tell you what, if I was in a back alley with 15 bad guys coming at me, I'd rather have Hawkeye than Scarlet Witch.
Absolutely not.
Because I'd accidentally scuff her shoe up. She'd turn around and blast me into a million pieces. She has no control.
I would rather her than Hawkeye 100%.
He'd send about 10 of them arrows down there.
And then you'd still have to fight 5 guys.
No, because they explode and do other things.
Okay.
And he can whoop A.
I'd rather have
literally
Wanda because she could just be like, "Bzz," and then murder all of them.
and hope she's in a good mood or you're next. Exactly.
It's a risk you take.
Not with Hawkeye.
Right.
Or the
I'm gonna hold a comment that I had until the podcast is over.
Good grief. Okay.
Yeah. So we both watched WandaVision.
I watched the whole thing. If
Yeah.
I didn't like it, I wouldn't have watched the whole thing. I was disappointed with how they ended it.
And explain your reasons why.
If you haven't watched WandaVision,
if you haven't watched it, skip 5 minutes ahead, and you won't hear all the spoilers.
She has arguably the most powers. She's the strongest one.
Yes.
And has borderline
Almost
zero
killed Thanos.
by herself.
Yeah, by herself. Almost killed Thanos by herself.
Which is unrealistic. Because that would mean she has the strength of six stones, but she really only got her powers from one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but then WandaVision does say that like she wouldn't be as powerful if she didn't already have some of that in her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say she was a witch. And I did like that it went back in the past, and I want to watch Agatha. I'd rather watch a show about her maneuvering through the Salem witch trials and stuff than Wanda just getting a wild hair up her rear end and blowing up half a city because she can't control anything because she's a child with extreme emotional trauma that nobody seems to like. Hey, maybe we should lock your hands up for a minute and work on some of this stuff.
Her parents were killed when she was very young. She watched it happen
By rebels.
and then when she grew up, then
She fell in love with a robot.
The government
That's her own fault.
The government started doing tests on her, put her in a room with a mind stone. Like all these other people have died. All of a sudden, she gains powers from it, and then
She volunteered for that.
Yeah, well, if you ain't got a whole lot of other choices,
Yeah. She was way too emotionally attached to her brother. Then she was way too emotionally attached to Vision.
because that's all she had.
And then she was way too emotionally
that's all
attached to
she
her
had.
fake children.
Because that's all she had.
And
Just go through. That's all she had. That's all she had.
So she gets a pass.
Her parents were murdered in front of her face, so her brother was all she had. They kept each other safe. Her brother dies. Then she's attracted to
a robot.
Vision,
A purple robot.
who had the Mind Stone inside of him. So I'm sure that's part of the reason that
They didn't stick her in the room with the Mind Stone. It was the Tesseract. It was Hydra.
Which had the Mind Stone inside of it. Yeah. So then Vision had the Mind Stone inside of him.
So she's sexually attracted to a rock.
Who isn't?
Me.
Well, you're not a woman.
That was Josh J. Julian. Not Lee.
I look like a rock. If you I'm shaped real funny.
Let's just spend some of
Hard
this money
in some
and make the
places,
Fantastic
not in other
Four
places.
right. How about that?
Which there were a lot of fan theories that they were going to bring in the Fantastic Four
Well, you know why?
because of what
I did a lot of reading.
Yeah.
Agatha, the witch, the purple witch,
Yeah.
in the comics, she raises Stretch Armstrong and the Invisible Girl's kids.
Yeah.
So they're tied into that. And then with the end of I didn't like the ending because
They also thought Mephisto was going to show up, which is another bad guy.
I didn't like it because Wanda gets a pass for having mental illness and nobody checks it up, and she's got way too much power. And now she's got even more power because she sucked up all the purple lady's powers. And she started reading that book she ain't supposed to be reading. And she was like, oh, what's a witch? And then by the end of the episode, she's casting like actual spells.
Well, but in the episode, the Agatha said, you don't have to like conjure these things, and you don't have to like your powers is different from a regular witch. You don't have to like say, because everything Agatha did, she had to like say the chant beforehand,
and she had learned how to use them, and she had control over them. I like Agatha because she felt like an energy beam at that place in New Jersey, that town. She went there and just like realized that Wanda can't control her stuff.
And so she wanted to take Wanda's power away from her. Yeah.
To help. Agatha's an
to help herself.
Agatha's an antidepressant in human form. And then Wanda murders her.
I loved WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was fantastic. The first 2 episodes, weren't a fan.
I liked them before they got into the excess power stuff. She was ready to just kill everybody.
Wanda?
Yes.
When?
Okay, maybe not kill, but leave them in that slave state.
Well, and it like that episode, I thought it made it pretty clear that she really didn't know what she was doing.
Then you don't need that stuff. Then you don't need those powers if you don't know what to do with them.
You can't just take powers away from somebody.
Agatha was going to.
Yeah, but
Wanda
Agatha is a
murder.
bad person.
Not any worse than Wanda.
She is.
Not any worse than Wanda. In the comics, she's a good person.
Agatha?
Yes. She's ambivalent. She's not bad or good. She's a part of the storyline.
She helps Mephisto,
but
Mephisto's like the next like Thanos level.
But they all do bad and good things.
Okay, if they all do bad and good things and don't take the powers away from any of them.
I'm just saying, for the sake of normal human beings,
Captain America went against America.
I know.
Take his powers away.
I don't like Cap.
Oh my gosh, who do you like? Hawkeye? That's your only guy that you like?
I think it's dumb that he has a bow and arrow and they're fighting Thanos and he's shooting arrows at people. That's stupid.
Absolutely.
The way they turn normal people into superheroes, like, all right, Thor's got a hammer. Iron Man's got all the tech you could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And his heart was a energy beam.
Yeah.
What else we got? All of the Guardians of the Galaxy, they all have powers for the most part. Who else we got? Cap, superhuman.
Ant-Man.
Tech beyond imagination. Yeah. Romanoff is a spy that can do a scissor kick and has a 9mm. Yeah. I have the same pistol she has.
Well, that's why they sent her and Hawkeye to go get the Infinity Stone that was on that.
Because they didn't have to fight anybody to get them.
No, because they knew one of them was going to die.
Well, they didn't know that.
We don't need one of these guys.
Superhuman powers. Yeah. And then she's running around with a Glock 43.
Yeah.
And a scissor kick. You're dead immediately.
Yeah. That's why they sent them, because they were like, one of them's going to die. They're not really that important to us.
How are we going to protect this big hammer from Thor coming to grab it? He's a god. Well, let's sit this guy up with a bow and arrow and a perch. He'll take care of everybody's problems. It was just there's plenty of things that I didn't like about. Okay, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is great. I've watched all the movies multiple times.
Yeah, I'm going back. I went back with Jason and
We've
I'm watching
done it.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That we watched it the other day.
Thought that'd be a good.
It's
good
a funny one.
Start.
It's cool. Wanda had way too much power, and then she did really bad things with it to that town.
Yeah.
And then she is in the Swiss Alps alone, which is terrible, gaining even more power.
Yeah. I think she'll be the bad guy
in the new Doctor Strange.
Strange.
I cannot wait, and I hope he peels her like a banana.
I think the next one's going to be Thor. I think that's the next one coming out. With,
freaking Natalie Portman just all of a sudden can pick up the hammer. There ain't but like 2 people on the planet can pick up the hammer, and she's an astrologist that dated Thor for a minute, and that she can pick the hammer up. Okay.
I'm excited about Captain America. Not Captain America. Well,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, there will be a Captain America in it, but
it's not him. It's a different Captain America. Yeah.
I like, so what you said earlier, you were like, I've done a lot of reading this week, and you're talking about like this stuff for WandaVision. I've been doing a lot of reading my whole life because
WandaVision.
I love comic books, and so
I did a lot of stuff growing up. I didn't have time to read comic books.
Yeah, I did those things, and then at nighttime I sat in my room and read comic books. So,
and here we are.
Here we are.
But yeah, it just that it seems like the show needed like 2 more episodes.
Yeah, I would have liked. Also, I didn't like how they were like, all these episodes are 30 minutes and then the last 3 are an hour. None of the episodes were 30 minutes other than maybe the last 3.
Yeah.
Which were on time as 40 minutes, but then you've got credits and all that other stuff. I didn't like how they did that because I was excited for a whole hour TV show. Like when I watch an episode of Westworld, it's an hour long.
Not 40 minutes and then 20 minutes of credits with a 30-second clip in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That you got to go find because ain't nobody sitting through all those credits.
Yeah.
So Vision's gone.
No.
Well, he was never there to begin with. He was in that bubble. He was created because he's dead.
Yeah, but Vision is alive.
In her mind.
No, in White Vision.
Okay, White Vision is alive.
White Vision
now
is alive.
He might be good. Let's hope. My gosh.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Which
Maybe
he's got all the he has all of the memories from the last 5 years.
He has Vision's memories
in his brain.
Vision USB'd his brain into him.
3.0.
I hope my favorite part of WandaVision was when Vision was like, wait a minute, Wanda ain't doing right. That was my favorite part. It was like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
When he was going to crawl out of the simulation.
And he tried to, and then
because he was going to try and
in.
Stop her. When he realized those people were slaves, basically. That was my favorite part of WandaVision.
But then he also realized, like, this is really hard on Wanda because she saw me die twice.
Okay.
And now she's going to have to experience
we all got
me dying
stuff.
again.
You still got to deal with them. You can't just...
If I had the power, I might try and bring somebody back. Even if it is in, like, a fake way.
And that's why she will be heavily in Doctor Strange because his whole thing as the Sorcerer Supreme is protecting natural law.
Yeah.
And she's breaking it by doing all that crap she does with her red smoke.
Yeah.
And I hope he buries her 6 feet under.
Speaking of burying things 6 feet under, I think the Bachelor series
is done.
Is probably pretty close to getting buried 6 feet under.
Dang. We've got some good transitions this episode.
Hey, I try every episode. It doesn't mean that they work out. But so the Bachelor this past week, people have been like, obviously there's been a lot of controversy around the Bachelor recently. There were these people there was this one person in particular that was calling out the girl that had the antebellum pictures, and one of the other contestants was like, hold up, rewind your timeline, your Twitter timeline, and that girl was writing some pretty bad things.
That's
really bad.
That's what always happens. What did she write?
I don't remember. I remember
but they
reading
were really bad.
I remember reading them and just being like, oh.
Were they anti-white?
No, they were anti everything else.
Semitism?
Probably a little bit. I would look it up, but my phone is on like 2% right now. So I'm trying to skate through this episode.
You keep talking, because I've never watched The Bachelor.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the guy brought up, he had screenshotted all of them and was like, he was like, pretty much like, I was waiting for the moment when somebody was going to be, like, disingenuine in what they were saying, because I've got all this stuff from back years ago that I've screenshotted. And she is a psychologist. And
let me read this to you and see if I'm on the right thing.
Okay.
Rachel, Bachelor racism, Old South Alabama antebellum party photo. Okay, no, that's her actually.
That's that's the
Bachelor Matt James reacts to Rachel racism claims.
Let me see your phone.
Find it for me, and I'll I want to see what she said to see how. But this is what happens when your whole celebrity and fame is created because you call people out for stuff. You're next.
Yeah.
Everybody that does that is next.
Well, and I mean, if you have like stuff that you've said that is really bad, it's going to get brought up. I mean, if you're just like a normal person.
And
like,
everybody's got that to some degree.
Yeah, but...
these are really bad?
Yeah, these are really bad. Okay, so it was...
Wait. You got to keep talking about The Bachelor. I want to read these first. I really want to read these.
Yeah. Well,
Is this it?
I think so, yeah. But so with those things, so the girl that came out and said, oh, that the guy told, hey, you need to hold on a second. She's a psychologist. And the board of medical directors is thinking about pulling her license for the things that she said.
This girl that hosts this podcast is a psychologist?
No. The girl that
put the screenshots up?
The girl from the screenshots.
That is the host of this podcast that started all this Bachelor crap?
No. This is different people.
Oh.
This is just a different contestant on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, all that stuff. But so
Taylor Nolan? Who is that?
Yeah, that's the girl.
Which girl?
That's the girl that has the screenshots brought back now.
That caused all the drama with the Bachelor stuff?
No, she didn't. She hasn't been a part of the drama until like 2 weeks ago when she was like, I can't believe somebody would do this. And then
so this
the
isn't
Jordan
the chick
Kimbrell guy was like, hold on, I've got tweets that you said.
I thought these were going to be tweets from the podcast girl.
That girl, did we talk about last week that girl was stopped? She deleted her Instagram account.
Yeah. I thought these were her tweets.
No. This is just another.
This is just a girl who's juicy then.
It's pretty juicy. Read through.
I read them.
Is there anything you can say on air?
This is not what I think. I'm going to read all of them. Indian guys, please shower before hitting the club or coming anywhere near me.
Pretty racist.
Like, do they make it mandatory that working at Subway you have to be Indian? Jeez.
Racist.
Asian problems aren't crap. They get red when they're drunk. They have small penises. They get made fun of for being smart. It's hard to see.
Very racist.
Cold stone population, fat Asians, fat white people, Jews, and skinny black people. When you see a very ugly Asian dressed very poorly running across campus with her backpack on wheels. No wonder everyone is so effing fat and has giant fupas here.
Fupas,
whatever. And that was just very few of her tweets.
Yeah. So she was calling out the other girl that was in the Annabelle pictures. And then the Jordan Kimbrell guy was like, hold on. If you're going to throw stones, let's look at your past. And also on the show, there's been a bunch of people bring up that on 2 seasons from previously, they were on Annabelle property when they were filming an episode.
Yeah.
But like, at this point, it's an old building.
Right.
That's all it is. I mean, I get that there was a past there. There's probably a past at a lot of places. Like, we didn't tear down the hall at Alabama where they were standing in front of the doors just because something bad happened there.
Right.
But I just thought it was funny that the one girl was calling her out, and then it's like, hold on, you said a lot. This girl hasn't said anything racist. But you, on the other hand, who's calling this girl out.
This girl put a picture on Instagram when she was in high school.
Yeah. Don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house.
Mm-hmm. And wear sunscreen.
Yeah, wear sunscreen for sure.
Mm-hmm. Is the roof glass? So you live in a greenhouse.
Yeah.
With plants.
Absolutely.
Huh. It still makes perfect sense as far as like how if you're famous because you call people out for stuff, like it's coming back to everybody has stuff in their past, and if you want to start tearing somebody up for their past, you're next.
Yeah. Speaking of what's next, do you like that one?
It was okay. It was decent.
I liked it.
What's next is our
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Yeah. So, would you rather announce, like out loud announce, every time that you had to fart?
I'll do that anyway.
Or pee your pants daily? Like, not like, so if you were sitting in the middle of church.
And I had to fart or I do fart?
And you fart. and you had to go, I am farting, and then you farted, or pee your pants every day.
I'll take that.
You'll take that?
I'll take the first one.
Your mom's just passed away.
When do I pee my pants?
I fart 10 times a day.
Right. But most of the time I fart in private.
Yeah, but...
Or if I was sitting here, it's not that big a deal. Or like hanging at... Like, okay.
You're at church, you're at a wedding, you're at a funeral.
Okay,
you're at a business meeting.
Okay, it's my business.
Yeah, but if you're at a business meeting with like the university, and then they're like, this guy says I fart a lot.
I would laminate an index card that says, this is what I have to do.
This is what I have to do.
I'm sorry. I'd wear it like a name tag, especially in important things.
Yeah.
But that's
like
really...
you have Tourette's or something.
Okay, all I got to do is just hold in a fart for important things. Okay. And then I'll be yelling in the car on the way home. That's fine. But if at any moment I could just... My TT just comes out.
Would it help if you got to choose when you TT'd?
No. I'd do it in the shower.
Okay, but like you have clothes on.
No. Well,
just like before
that is a hassle.
Before you get in the shower, you just pee yourself and then you get in the shower.
But my clothes are still pee.
Are you going to wear those clothes?
I got to wash them immediately. There'd be no dirty I'd have a rubber bag full of pee clothes.
I think the difference. So I was firmly for announcing when I fart. But if I get to choose when I pee, I'm choosing pee every time.
But you'd have to those clothes. That just seems like way extra work. That's like every day I've got pee clothes. Every day.
I would rather do that than announce every time I had to fart. If I could pick the time. If I could pick the time. If I couldn't pick the time, that changes things.
Now, I'm all about personal responsibility. I would just work on holding in farts when I don't need to be farting.
I've farted at least 4 times sitting here.
That's fine, but if you told me every time,
I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yes, you would.
We wouldn't be able to do this podcast because like 30 minutes of it would be me yelling, I have to fart.
And then you fart and it's over and we continue. Now, it depends on what we had to eat, but like I would much rather just tell people I'm farting than pee my pants.
If I got to pick, I'm peeing my pants.
And you have to have clothes on.
Yeah.
What if you beat the system and like a day you were off, you didn't put clothes on?
I guess you don't pee that day.
But it's every day. So then the world explodes.
The world explodes. Yeah. No, you just game the system one day.
I would just not. I wouldn't do it. I can't. I'm not peeing myself every day.
I'd pee myself so hard.
That's the wildest thing.
I'd let it all go.
There's no way anybody else on the planet agrees with you.
We'll see. If you're listening this deep into the podcast, tell us.
Most of you probably aren't.
Most of you probably aren't.
I couldn't imagine a world where more than just you would say, like, yeah, I'd just pee my pants every day.
If I could pick.
But what does that mean?
If I can't pick, because then I'm just doing it either at night when I get home and then I take a shower, or when in the morning. Are you going
to wash your clothes in the shower with you?
I mean, might as well.
Hassle.
Not that much of a hassle.
Still hassle. Holding in a fart at church is not that hard to do.
While we've been having this conversation, I know I've farted twice.
That's okay. That's ridiculous.
I guess technically I'm announcing it every time now. But yeah, the amount of times like I have to go meet with somebody or I'm doing something. Maybe I'm just like out in public more than you are. And
I'm outside a lot.
I would hate it.
You need to work on your booty hole strength because it's not that hard to hold in a fart.
Yeah, but I read somewhere one time it's better to just let it go.
Better than just pee your pants? That's insane.
If I get to pick, I'm picking.
Okay.
Pee my pants. 9 times out of 10.
And so you'd go to bed every night knowing that you've TT'd in your pants that day, like a child.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
I think that's where we end here.
I think so.
Because I
I
can't even comprehend choosing to pee your pants.
Well, that's just because you like to get away with the least amount of work possible. But
as should everyone. Work smarter, not harder. While you're scrubbing TT out of your jeans.
Scrubbing nothing. What am I scrubbing something?
You just said I'd rather just have pants that somewhat smell like TT all the time.
They wouldn't smell like it all the time. You wash them.
I'm over here.
Jason has peed his pants more times than I can count. He doesn't walk around smelling like pee.
But you don't wash his clothes every day.
No.
You would never be able to rewear something the day after.
Unless you washed it. You wash it immediately.
You just added so much work to your life.
Not really. You don't have to wash them immediately after they get peed in there.
You don't have to.
It doesn't change the molecular smell.
TT stinks.
It does. I agree. But if I could do it before bed or after I wake up.
And so you'd have a dirty clothes hamper and then you'd have a trash bag and another dirty clothes hamper, and that's your TT clothes.
Sure.
That's insane.
Or just while you're in the shower, get your pants and your underwear wet while you're in there, wring them out. Doesn't take. That's not that much. There's not that much.
Insane.
I'd rather
let Wanda babysit my kids than do that.
They'd come back. They'd be dead.
Yeah,
and then there'd just be apparitions of them till she walked away.
Mm.
Yep. And that's where we stand. Tell us about what you think,
guys. Thank you for letting us into your homes and your vehicles and your office and your hearts and your minds.
And your peed in pants.
And your peed in pants.
See you next week.